truck. This installation procedure, what we're going to do today, works in the 250 to the 550. A lot of you have a truck with the MyFord Touch Sync 2 system, whether it's nav or non-nav. Basically what we're doing today is we're going to upgrade from the Sync 2 MyFord Touch to the new Sync 3. So there's a lot of mixed reviews with the Sync 2. Some people love it, some people hate it, but we haven't heard any bad things about the Sync 3. So there's a ton of our customers that want to upgrade from Sync 2 MyFord Touch to Sync 3, which is the latest and greatest infotainment that Ford has in all of their new trucks. Installation's really easy. You'll need a 7mm socket, a regular screwdriver or a pry tool, and then it's a Torx T9 bit. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is open up the cubby here. We're going to want to pull out this hub here. So you could use your pry tool, your regular screwdriver. You just want to get behind it enough to pop it loose. Now this front cover may come off, it just pops off, and that might help you get to these retaining clips a little bit better to remove this little assembly. Then all you have to do is just unplug it. And set it aside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install the CarPlay Android Auto hub. So this is a little hub bezel. What we're going to want to do is pop our CarPlay hub into place. In the back side here, we're going to want to plug in this connector here. And then the other end will plug into the end that was in our old hub. Then lastly, we'll plug the USB connector into the one and once you do that, you can tuck the wiring behind and snap it into place. Now what we're going to do is remove this bezel here. In order to do that, what we're going to need to do is remove these little plastic trim pieces here and here, and those are just held in with retaining clips. So we're going to use our pry tool just to get up underneath it, just enough to pop it out of place, and that'll expose the 7mm screw. Once we remove those both screws, those two screws, this will just pop out of place. And we can just fold it down. We don't necessarily need to remove it completely because it won't be in the way, but that'll expose the 4 7mm screws that hold in our Sync 2 display and A-pin. Once those screws are removed, we simply just pull this down. We can remove the USB connector here. And then in order to remove this connector here, you have to push down on the tab and lift the gray lever, and that will pull it out of place. Then what we're gonna do is remove the Torx screws here. That way, we can reuse this bracket here onto the Sync 3 display. So on both sides of your current screen, we're just going to remove these two screws here and then place the bracket in the exact same location on the screen that we send. Okay, as you can see, we went ahead and put the brackets on the new screen here. Just like I said, 4 screws. So before we install this, the last thing we have to do is install a GPS antenna. So there's really no right or wrong way to install an antenna. We just want to make sure it's just under the windshield. It has a magnetic base on it, so there's a cross member here which works really well, where it would adhere to it nicely. And then this here, you don't want to scrunch it, just keep it coiled and then tuck it back behind. Then we can plug this into our Sync 3 A-pin. Now we're ready to install the Sync 3 system. So we're going to take the original connector, the A-pin connector, slide it into place, lift the lever, and you'll hear it snap into place. The USB will always plug into the dark gray or black connector, and then our GPS antenna will plug in right up here in the corner. Then we could fit the system into the exact same location as the other one. All right, now we can reassemble the bezel and screw it back into place. All right, now that everything's buttoned up and in its place, let's start the truck and check it out. Now immediately you'll notice just a really intuitive, easy design. It's not off in quadrants like before. Now it's the new Sync 3 system, which is really slick, as you can see. Under audio here, you can go in through your sources. AM, FM, satellite radio, CD, Bluetooth streaming. Also HD radio for those who have HD radio. Your climate is all now controlled through the Sync 3 system as well. You can pair your phone by just pressing Add Phone. The navigation is really slick, and this is what really sets the system apart from the MyFord Touch. It's got all the traditional features a nav has. You can set up your home, your work, previous destinations. The points of interest and everything is just really slick on here. The maps are all configurable through settings. It has the pinch to zoom feature, which is really cool. Your apps, you can add a whole bunch of apps within this section here through the mobile. Sirius Travel Link, for those who have it, will have it show up here. Your settings menu, you'll be able to set your sound, your clock, navigation preferences, CarPlay, Android Auto. Now some of you will opt for the factory nav, and some of you don't necessarily want the factory nav, but you want to utilize your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's fine. You can save a little bit of money and not go with the factory nav. But in this case, this customer wanted the nav system itself. We do have a full demo video on our YouTube channel with the Ford Apple CarPlay and Android Auto features and rundown, but I just want to show you just real quick how it works. So you're going to plug your USB into the hub. Plug it into your phone. And what you'll notice is now your CarPlay feature will work on screen here. So you can go through and do Spotify, Pandora, your messages. The Maps feature is just really slick as well. You can go to your recent destinations, which is say you want to go home.
Starting route to home.
And it works just like you know, your Apple Maps would work. So that's really cool. This will be your home button here to get back to the main screen, and then you just press forward to get back into your main home area here. But in either case, come check us out, Infotainment.com. We have these Sync 3 upgrades for all the MyFord Touch, from the sedans to the SUVs and trucks. So if you guys want to add a backup camera, if you guys want to add side cameras, front cameras, we carry all sorts of really cool stuff for the Ford. So come check us out, Infotainment.com. Thanks for watching, guys.